Do you want to improve your fluency and sound more natural when speaking English? Join me to practice answering real conversation questions about food and eating habits. I'll show you useful phrases, model answers, and tips to improve your speaking fluency and confidence. If this is your first time in one of my speaking videos, here is how it will work. First, I will ask you a question and give you time to pause and answer the question, speaking out loud. Next, I will give my own answer to the same question and demonstrate natural fluent speech. After that, I'll highlight some useful phrases and vocabulary that I used in my answer and explain how you can use them. Finally, I'll let you pause the video one more time so you can answer the question again, this time using the useful vocabulary and phrases to improve your answer. This is a really great way to practice your speaking and get more fluent and confident in English. So if you're ready, let's get started. Question 1. What's your favourite meal of the day and why? Pause the video here. Give your answer speaking out loud, and when you're ready, you can continue with the video. Great, well done. Now listen to me answer the same question. I'd have to say breakfast is my favourite meal of the day. I feel like it sets the tone for the day, and I love having something warm and comforting in the morning. My go-to breakfast is scrambled eggs on toast with some avocado and a cup of strong tea. If I have more time, I might make pancakes or oatmeal with fruit. It gives me energy and helps me start the day in a good mood. Okay, let's look at some vocabulary I used in my answer. I said, I'd have to say breakfast. This is a useful phrase you can use when someone asks your opinion on something, like, what is your favourite meal of the day? I'd have to say breakfast. I said it sets the tone for the day. If something sets the tone, it creates a specific mood or atmosphere, a particular way you want to feel for the rest of the day. I said I like something warm and comforting. Food that is comforting makes you feel good or relaxed. It makes you feel happy. Usually food that is warm, filling, it's comforting. It makes you feel good. I said it helps me start the day in a good mood. If you're in a good mood, it means you're feeling good, you're happy. It's a great way to start the day. Now, pause the video again and answer the question, but this time, see if you can be more fluent and maybe use some of the vocabulary and phrases that I used in my answer. Great work! I hope you felt more confident the second time. Let's move on to question 2. Do you prefer cooking at home or eating out? Pause the video and answer. Great work! Now listen to me. I enjoy both, but I probably cook at home more often. It's healthier, more affordable, and I find cooking quite relaxing. I like trying new recipes and experimenting with different ingredients. That said, eating out is a nice treat, especially when I don't feel like washing up afterwards. I usually save restaurants for weekends or special occasions. Great, now let's look at some vocabulary. I said cooking at home is more affordable. If something is affordable, it means it doesn't cost too much money, or it's not too expensive, like eating in a restaurant often can be. I said I like experimenting with different ingredients. If you experiment, it means you try things, probably things that you've not tried before. I like getting new ingredients and trying new recipes. I talked about when I don't feel like washing up afterwards. Washing up means cleaning the dishes. We often say, do the washing up. I said I save restaurants for weekends and special occasions. Special occasions are events like birthdays or anniversaries, particular days or moments in your life that you want to celebrate. Okay, now pause the video and answer the question again. Great work! If you're enjoying this video and finding this speaking practice useful, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified every time I release an English learning video just like this one. Thanks very much, everyone. And now let's continue with question 3. What's a traditional dish from your country that you enjoy? Pause and answer. Great! Now listen to me. One of my favourite British dishes is a Sunday roast. It's usually roasted meat like chicken or beef and served with potatoes, also roasted, and vegetables. Most of the ingredients are roasted in the oven and you serve it covered in gravy. I love it because it reminds me of cosy weekends at home and family gatherings. I don't eat it every week, but when I do, it always makes me feel nostalgic. Now let's look at some vocabulary. So we're talking here about a traditional dish. A traditional dish is one that's often made in a certain country. Usually it's been made for many, many years or many generations. People always associate that dish with that particular country. So for me, it was a roast dinner. The word roast means to cook something in the oven. So in my example, I talked about the meat, the potatoes, and the vegetables all being roasted in the oven. I talked about gravy, which is like a sauce that we make in the UK and we put it on our meat, our potatoes, our vegetables. It's very delicious. I said it makes me feel nostalgic. When you feel nostalgic, you're thinking about the past and thinking about happy memories from the past. So for me, eating a roast dinner makes me feel nostalgic because it reminds me of being a child at home with my family. It's like sadness and happiness combined when you're thinking about the past. Now pause the video and answer the question again. Great work! Moving on to question 4. How has your diet changed over the years? Pause and answer. Great work! Now listen to me. I used to eat a lot more processed food when I was younger, instant meals and sugary snacks. But over time, I've become more health conscious. Now I try to eat more whole foods like vegetables, grain, and lean protein. I also drink a lot more water and try to avoid too much caffeine. Of course, it's not about being perfect, but I try to have a balanced diet as much as I can. Okay, now let's look at the vocabulary I used. I talked about processed food. Processed food is food that has been changed from its natural state. Usually things like chocolate bars, crisps, snacks that are not in their original form. Generally, we consider processed food to be unhealthy. I talked about instant meals. Instant meals are pre-made food. Usually they come in a plastic container and you just put them in the microwave or the oven to heat them up. We also call these ready meals. I said now I'm more health conscious. If you're health conscious, it means you are aware of what is healthy and you try to eat healthy foods and have a healthy lifestyle. I said I try to have a balanced diet. If a diet is balanced, it includes equal amounts of all food groups, not too much or too little of anything in particular. Okay, now pause the video and answer the question again. Great work. Let's end with question 5. Are there any foods you dislike or avoid? Pause and answer. Well done. Now listen to my answer. I'm not a fussy eater, but I'm not overly keen on spicy food. I can handle a bit of heat, but if it's too much, it just ruins the flavour for me. I also try to avoid very greasy or fried foods, as they tend to make me feel a bit sluggish after eating them. Apart from that, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to food, and I love trying new things. Now let's look at the vocabulary. I said I'm not a fussy eater. A fussy eater is someone who doesn't like many foods. They usually are not interested in trying new things and there are lots of foods that they don't like to eat. I said I'm not keen on spicy food. If you're not keen on something, it means you don't really like it. I said I can handle a bit of heat. To handle means to tolerate or to be able to do something. So for me, I can eat food that's a little bit spicy, but not too much. I said after eating fried or greasy food, I feel sluggish. Sluggish is a great word which means tired and slow, often how you feel after you eat a big meal. You don't want to move and you feel like you could have a sleep. You feel sluggish. Now, for the final time, pause the video and give your response to the question. Well done for taking the time to practice your English with me today. I hope you found it useful and were able to build your confidence bit by bit. If you enjoyed this topic, check out my other speaking videos. I will link a playlist in the description below this one. And if you're looking for ways to really improve so that you can think in English, then I have all the tips for you in this video right here.